Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk about our Careers in Science project. Right here are the instructions, Careers in Science project. Okay. So it says, and this is a test grade. This is your first test grade. Number one, you're going to research a science career using this website. Okay. So I know that not all of us want to go into a science career, and that's fine. You want to be you want to be a professional athlete. That's fine. And I know that's not technically a science career, but what you could do is look at a science career, maybe that has to do with athletic training or chiropractic, something like that. So at least you're looking at a career that has something to do with your interest. So you can't, if the career does not appear on the website, you can't, so for example, if you want to be a photographer, but photographer doesn't appear as a science career here, you can't pick photographer, but you can look into something else that has to do with photography. And if you have a hard time finding that, just ask me and I can help guide you to a different career that has to do with your interests. Okay. But we are picking a career from this website. Doesn't mean you have to do it in real life. So when you go to the website, you're going to see careers for earth and physical science, life science, engineering, math, and computer science. Okay. You're going to be writing 2 paragraphs about your career. And now I wrote this back when we were, everybody didn't have a computer and people were completing their projects on paper. Some did it on the computer, some did it on paper. So, but we're all completing our project on the computer using a Google Doc. And I already made the Google Doc for you. All you have to do is click on it and start typing. Paragraph 1. Okay, I actually take you step by step through all the different sentences that you have to include in your paragraphs. But let me take you to the website first. Science Buddies. Okay, and here you can see, here's the earth and physical sciences. And these are all the different careers, okay, that they have on the website. It's not all that exists, but they have a lot of them on the website. You can go to the life sciences careers. Here's athletic trainer. You might have a psychologist or a psychologist, veterinarian. Okay. If you go to engineering, see things like aerospace engineer, energy engineer, automotive engineer. There's all kinds of engineering careers here. Welder, I saw down there. Math and computer science. So a database administrator, data scientist, remote sensing scientists, to look through those if you want to do a career with computers. And then health. And here you'll see things like a cardiovascular technician, an audiologist, a neurologist, a physician, a nurse. Okay. If you want to be a doctor, it would be physician. Okay. Physical therapist, pharmacist, all there. So now let's look at the questions that you have to answer for this. I'm going to go back to my document. Okay. So I actually lay out for you exactly what to answer. And a paragraph is 5 sentences. So here are 5 questions. And as long as you answer each of these in at least 1 sentence, you're good. So the first question you have to answer says, define in your own words this career. And it's located under the What Do They Do tab. Right? So let's go back to the careers in sciences. And I'm going to use astronomer as my example, because that's what I wanted to be when I was your age. Okay, and it brings us here. So define in your own words this project, or I'm sorry, this career. So it's basically, you can take a look at the description here. Now, being an astronomer is not limited to this, but it's a good way to get you started. And there's 4 completely different things that an astronomer can do. So read these. And if there's one that really speaks to you, use that as your definition. So for example, you could say an astronomer is a person who looks at what planets are made up of. That's what composition means, the makeup of something, and what the planet's atmosphere is made up of, and all of its moons. Okay. Or you could say an astronomer is a person who uses radio telescopes to find asteroids that might become close to our planet and hit our planet. Okay. So you can use these to help you with your description and your definition. Find something that's interesting to you. All right. The next sentence says, what level of education would you need for this career? And it's located under the education tab. So I will take you there. So if you go right here to the education tab, okay, if you look under here, it says a PhD degree in physics or closely related field is required for this job. Now I know here it says master's degree, can qualify for some jobs, bachelor's degree, but really if you want to do this job, because it said some jobs, you got to find the one where that's the one for your career. So what you could say is, now I know I'm pretty much writing this paper if you wanted to be an astronomer. So if you pick astronomer, you have to pick different wordings and phrasing than what I say. Okay, just a heads up. So for degree, you could say to be an astronomer, you have to have a PhD in physics or a related field. There you go. There's your sentence. Okay. The next question. It says, see, will there be a lot of jobs in this field in the future? And that would be under key facts. And you would look at the job growth. So I will show you where that is. Go to the top. Here's the key facts and information. And then you look here under, oops, sorry, I wasn't sharing the screen at the time. You look here under key facts and information. And you look here under job growth. So it says little to no change. So what does that mean? What that means is by the year 2024, there's not going to be more astronomer careers, there's not going to be less. It's going to be about the same amount that exists today. Okay. You'll see some jobs where it's going to, like, all 5 of these people are going to be filled in. What that means is for you, if it says like a big job growth, a big increase, that means that in the future, there's going to be more jobs available. So there'll be lots of opportunity for people with that degree to get a job. If it says job growth slowing, that means there's going to be less jobs available in the future. So you want to keep that in mind. The reason why I'm having you look at that is because if that's really something you want to go into, you're going to want to pick a career where there's a lot of job growth, or at least it's not declining. It's not changing. Okay. Because if it's declining, that means you're going to have a really hard time finding a job in that field. But this one is little to no change. So you could say, in the future, there's going to be about the same amount of jobs available for astronomers as there are today. Okay. The next question says, what is the yearly salary for this person? It's located under the key facts tab. So if you go, we're under the key facts, same tab, and here's the salary. So I'm going to explain what this means. I don't want you, some people have gotten confused with this bar graph. So I want to explain here. Minimum wage, that's not you. Okay, that's not your career. That means that if you work a job that only pays minimum wage, like you work the checkout at ShopRite, okay, you really only get paid minimum wage. So in a whole year, you'd only make $15,080. Okay. Now, if you mean US mean average wage, that means if you take all the jobs in all the United States and take an average of them, this is what it would be. But that's not you. That's not an astronomer. See this one, it's labeled astronomer. So yours is going to be the top bar, and look, make sure it says your career in that bar. And on average, an astronomer makes $104,740 a year. So you're going to want to say the mean salary, or the median salary of an astronomer is, and then you say your number, $104,740 a year. That's it. That sentence is done. Okay, so make sure you're looking at the right tab. So now the last question says, what kind of projects would you work on in this career? It's located either under the on the jobs or the project ideas tabs. Now this is where, let's say 20 people picked astronomer, all of your answers for this would probably be different. Because what you're going to do, here's on the job and here's project ideas. You're going to read, what do astronomers do on the job? Here are some ideas here. And then you can go to project ideas and some projects that might work on. What I want you to do is to look at what is interesting to you and talk about that. So, and what interests everybody is a little different. So you might look here and it says they present research findings at scientific conferences in papers written for scientific journals. So if that's something, if you like to write and research, you might want to choose that as your explanation of what they do on the job. You might want to say astronomers research things in space. You could be more specific if you want. And then they present these at conferences. If that's something, if you like to do public speaking and researching, that might be a really good find for you. Or you could write here, they teach astronomy or astrophysics. So if you like astronomy but want to be a teacher, you could say, as your explanation of what they do on the job, some astronomers get their teaching degree and they teach in colleges astronomy or astrophysics. Okay, so you can pretty much say a lot of different things for this part, and you can say more than one thing. All right, that was the hard part. The easier part is, let me go back here. Now, this next paragraph is really all about you and how you feel about this career. So letter A says, why do you like this career? So you use your own words here. You would say, I like the career of astronomy, or I chose this career because, and you tell me, what about this career interests you the most? So now that you've read a little bit on the page, you can go back to on the job and projects, those tabs, and tell me what's the most interesting thing about this job to you. Your own words. Letter C is, how would you help your community by choosing this career? So maybe you could say, as an astronomer, I would detect any kind of asteroids or any kind of threats to the planet, and I could help stay on top of that. Go look in the other on the job and project ideas and see how those different projects can help your community. Okay, so how would it help others? Letter D, how would choosing this career affect your life and or your family's life? So you could say, as if I became an astronomer, I would make a lot of money. Okay. And, I could, you could talk about other things that you like to do on the side if you wanted to, because being an astronomer is going to help you get, make money to do other things. Or you could say, being an astronomer, it'll affect my life because it's something I've always wanted to do and it would make me really happy. There's all kinds of things you can say about that. It would help my family by, I could support them with this job. Plus, I'm doing something that I love to do, because when you're happy, your family's happy. And then letter E says, what skills should you try to develop through school, home, and extracurricular activities? What that means is, if you know that that's what you want to go into, okay, or as something that interests you, you could say, well, when I go to high school, I should take a lot of, try to take extra subjects in science. Or I could, in the summertime, find an astronomer camp or get a telescope and start learning on my own, those kind of things. So what can you do to help develop and hone your skills for that career? Okay, so if you look down here, this is the format that I want the paper to look in. You are going to have a title. Then you're going to have a picture in there. So what you could do, something simple, and you don't have to do it this way. You can just Google search a picture. But I know that there were some pictures here. So if you grab a picture and you drag it up into your document and drop it, it's going to place the picture in there. Okay, I don't want to do that to this document here. Go back. But that's one way to put a picture in a document. You could also Google search a picture and copy paste if you know how to do that, or just drag it right into your document. You can also drag GIFs into your document too. Then your first paragraph is going to be under the picture. Your second paragraph is going to be under the picture. And on the bottom of the page, you're putting your name, period, and date.